That ball looked like it was shot out of a cannon.
Change in lanes for a Cougar touchdown.
You're in for a barn burner for the second half.
Shamar Hurd gonna walk it into the end zone.
Yeah,
that move. Whoa!
Yeah, that was a fantastic play.
Looking for the home run ball, looking to go deep. They connect for the touchdown.
Strap in your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on.
First place at stake in the MAC Red here tonight. Homecoming. The 2023 edition, the Romeo Bulldogs and the Dakota Cougars. Hello again, everybody. I'm Brad Fetters for Chippewa Valley Cable Television. Joined, as always, by my broadcast partner, Jeff Vitale. And Jeff, the Dakota Cougars looking for a bounce-back victory here tonight. They trail the Romeo Bulldogs in the MAC Red standings after dropping that rivalry game last week to the Chippewa Valley Big Reds.
Yeah, well, Romeo comes in as the top dogs in the MAC, pun intended. And the Cougars are going to look to try to tighten this race up with only 1 week of MAC Red regular season play left. So with Romeo, Chippewa Valley, or with Dakota, Chippewa Valley, and Ike 1 game behind, if Dakota can pull this out tonight, it's going to really make things interesting in the race as we kind of hit the home stretch.
Dakota won the opening coin toss. They elected to receive the football, so they are going to start with the ball first. 12 minutes up on the big board. After the touchback, they will scrimmage from the 20-yard line. And Jaden Ford, the quarterback, signal caller, back in the starting lineup after getting the start last week against Chippewa Valley. Struggled at times, was a little rusty to say the least.
Yeah, he was cleared on Wednesday and then basically in the game on Friday. So, yeah, I mean, he had a little bit of ring rust out for a few weeks and got thrown into that. And I expect the Cougars to really come out today. I think they kind of got caught off guard last week, Chippewa Valley, with a great game plan. And I'm expecting an absolute brawl here today. You got two really, really good defenses and two really good offenses. Something's going to give here. And there's been a lot of film watching this week. I can guarantee it, Brad.
Ford completes the very first pass of the football game out to Michael Felicia for a gain of 4. 3 wide receiver set here on second down.
Yeah, Romeo in a 4-2-5 with 5 nickelbacks. But the one corner, he's kind of out there, kind of taking away. They might be in a zone here.
Caleb Pritchard at the very bottom of the formation. Ford with the play action fake. Slings a pass to Trent Moore and across the 40, up to the 43-yard line. Pickup of 19.
I thought he was actually looking deep to Pritchard there, but no, he hit Moore in deep. And when in doubt, go to your 6'6" wide receiver. And Cougars on the move, first down, as they found that wide open spot there in the Romeo zone.
First 2 plays of the football game cover 23 yards. Spread offensive look here. I don't know if Ford was quite ready for that snap. Deflected. Victor Earl in coverage.
Yeah, Victor Earl's been a staple in this program for quite some time, and he read that all the way. And boy, if he could have got a hand on that, he was off to the races for a touchdown. So that little hitch route where the Cougars are trying to take advantage of the deep corners and kind of take what the defense gives them. But Victor Earl almost made a house call there on defense.
Victor Earl, one of the top dogs in this Romeo Bulldog rushing attack. Also has 15 solo tackles to go along with 16 assists. So 31 tackles. He gets busy in the secondary for Romeo.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a 4-year player. I know for sure he's a 3-year player, and he's been an absolute stud. And, obviously, being a senior this year, they're going to miss him. But what a heck of an athlete he is. And Coach Bauer with an early timeout.
A little bit of confusion there offensively for the Cougars. This Dakota offense averaging nearly 29 points per game. You mentioned the Romeo defense. They have struggled at times to the tune of giving up 24 points per game. It was a win last week for the Romeo Bulldogs.
They got off to a rough start at the beginning of the year. I know the one score that really surprised everyone was the beating by the hands of Roseville, 41-0. I think that was roughly about right. But then, once Mac Red play has started, the Bulldogs have kind of found themselves in familiar ground, making some noise. And they've always been a team that's surged late season and make a run in the playoffs. And right now, they're the lone team on top of the Mac Red. Not an easy 2 weeks to finish with, though, in the Mac Red play, Brad, when you go against Dakota and Chippewa Valley back-to-back, both homecoming games. So the next 2 weeks for the Bulldogs are going to be the longest halftime of their lives.
Yeah, that Roseville game that you're thinking of, that was 41-0, was against Brother Rice. The game against Romeo, much closer, 33-30 loss by the Romeo Bulldogs to Roseville's forward, rolls out to his right. Yeah, this Romeo team, the 2 losses, come in with a 3-2 record. Caledonia, the opening week of the season at U of M Stadium, 35-28 loss, then the 3-point loss to Roseville. So they're 2 losses by a combined 10 points.
And if you're not familiar with the west side of the state, ladies and gentlemen, Caledonia might be headed away the best Division II team in the state of Michigan. They are unbelievable. So, I mean, you're not playing some schmuck teams.
Nearly intercepted.
That was
pass intended for Colin Sneed, who was blocking downfield.
Yeah, that was a little bit behind him. The Cougars are going to have to punt. Like I said, with both defenses here, both teams are going to be very careful not to make some mistakes early. You do not want to give any early momentum to either team with so much on the line in today's game.
So the drive stalls out at the 45-yard line. Will be forced to punt the football away. Ben Turner, the very dangerous wideout for the Romeo Bulldogs.
Are you seeing what I'm saying? There's nobody covering number 2 out here. Throw him the ball. Like, it's a first down. Now someone's coming late on the field, but boy, oh boy. There was nobody on Dakota's wide man over there.
And the punt will take a Dakota bounce and roll all the way down inside the 10. Finally marked down at the 9-yard line.
47-yard punt, Brad.
Romeo backed up deep in their own end. Will get their first offensive series of this football game. They, too, averaging 28.6 points per game. A little bit of an anomaly in the MAC Red. The fact that Dakota, Romeo, and Eisenhower, 3 of the top 4 teams in the MAC Red, have all scored the same amount of points this season through 5 football games. It's unbelievable.
Emptied the backfield, 5 wide to start the game.
Caden Burrows
That's sweet.
Gonna turn in hand. DJ Phillips explores the left-hand side, pushed out of bounds.
I think that's Kreitzer over there made the tackle, number 50. It's hard to see the front of his jersey; it's a little bunched up there, but you can see the big 5-0 on his back. That is a big back to look at. He's had a heck of a season for the Cougars, and that front 4 is going to need to be stout today because this team will spread you out and tighten you up, and they try to get on the perimeter, and they are quick, well coached, and they get on your blocks and stay in the blocks.
Burrows completed 80% of his passes a week ago against Anchor Bay. And the handoff immediately in the backfield. Nowhere to run that time.
Want to take a guess on who made that tackle, Brad?
I'm going to guess.
I'll give you 2 chances.
I'm going to go with Brady Hampton.
Yeah, very good.
Beetleshe's in there as well. Back to the line of scrimmage.
If you don't know, usually just guess number 8, and odds are you're about right 82% of the time. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Dylan Beitelshe's had a heck of a season for the Cougars. He's played some great play in the secondary. He's a great tackler, open field tackle. Had a tremendous shove out of bounds at the goal line against Stevenson, which might have been the game-winning touchdown. Look at this. Oh.
And I think that was another snap where Burrows wasn't quite prepared for it. Was looking for Ben Turner, and it'll be a 3-and-out for the Romeo Bulldogs.
Well, this is where patience pays off for Coach Bauer and the Cougars, Brad, because they pinned Romeo down deep, and the Bulldogs are only able to muster 3 yards there, and the Cougars are going to benefit from some outstanding field position right now. They got a little bit of wind at their back, but the Cougars can get the ball in great field position here with a chance to score first.
Michael Felicia has his heels on the 50-yard line. Snap is good, rolling out to the right and kicking it away. Anthony Marisi's kick goes to the 48, so terrific starting field position here for Dakota on their second drive of this football game.
Yeah, and that rugby punt, you know, because he takes a little bit of step, and it may look to, you know, the average football fan that he's trying to run the ball. What it does, though, is help his coverage team get down the field, and it was a beautiful, nice high punt. Michael had only one choice, and that was to fair catch it. And the Cougars, like I said, on the Romeo side of the 50, are going to start off with great field position. Kind of two heavyweight boxers right now, Brad, just kind of feeling each other out, trying to jab, jab, jab before someone lands a big blow.
There's the handoff.
There's the big blow.
Straight ahead to Simons, up to the 39-yard line, pickup of 9.
That's just great downhill running. Nice offensive job by the O-line there to open up a hole, and Skyler just belted right through that line, and we got a Bulldog down. That might be number 8.
If it is number 8, that would be Victor Earl.
That is someone that Bulldogs, I mean, this is a talented defense, but that you're talking about the heart and soul there. You can't lose Victor Earl, so hopefully the young man is okay. I always hate to see, you know, kids get hurt in a high school game, but gosh, these kids are so dang big nowadays. I mean, and the way they run so quick that, I mean, sometimes it's like being hit by a car almost. Some of these kids are so big.
Training staff attending the young man. See if we can get, yep, it is Victor Earl. He's sitting up now, which is obviously a good sign. They're going to help him up, and he's going to walk off under his own power, and he gets a big round of applause from the dog pound on that far side. Yeah, when he's walking off the field at his own power, that's a good sign. Hopefully he's going to be all right. Just get dinged up a little bit. It's a physical football game, and not only that, I mean, we're past the halfway point of the season. Nobody's 100% right now. You know, everyone's kind of playing with some nicks and bruises and scratches, and you know, everyone's sore, and it's just trying to get to the finish line when you play this physical MAC Red schedule. Jaden Ford coming into play tonight, averaging 151 yards per game, 3 touchdowns to go along with a couple interceptions. It's Simons again on the ground, spins his way down to the Romeo 26-yard line.
Skyler Simons getting to go on the ground game to help the offensive line. Nice cut to the outside. And you know, nice north and south runner here as he's picking up some yards early. And Cougars are in business now inside the 30 down to the 26-yard line. You know, with 2 good kickers that both teams have, you don't have to get too close today to kind of get a chance for 3 up on the board. So
Simons picks up 13. He's averaging 4.6 a carry, 161 yards total on the ground. Quick snap. Throw was a little bit too low that time for Trent Morin, incomplete. Yeah, Jaden looked Colin Snead's way. That kind of brought some people to Snead's attention, and then he had Trent in the middle of the field wide open, just a little bit behind him. Terrific homecoming crowd here on Friday night in Macomb Township. So glad you decided to tune us in. Oh man, you had all kind of vendors in the tunnel. You had food trucks out there. You had a band, live band playing over by the concession stand on the away side. It was quite the shindig earlier today, and of course, you had the band rocking and rolling. Going to have a heck of a halftime festivities. It's going to be, they know how to do it right over here. Had the parade beforehand as well, and I kind of wondered why you weren't named Grand Marshal as Pritchard takes his jet sweep. Pritchard with the stiff arm. Pritchard inside the 10, inside the 5. Finally knocked out of bounds. Caleb Pritchard. You know, it's always a nice thought. I was too busy kissing babies, you know, Brad. But, you know, talk about Caleb Pritchard was huge last week in the Chippewa Valley game, and he's kind of picked up right where he left off. Nice stiff arm there, and you can't tackle him like that. He's going to run right by you. But he's been quite the spark for the Cougars the past couple weeks. And now Dakota inside the 10, first and goal, and looking for 7. Pritchard averaging 6 yards per carry to go along with what he has done through the air at over 12.5 yards per catch. He snagged a one-handed touchdown grab last week that was phenomenal in the back of the end zone. Kept the Cougars alive in that football game. Talented wideout for head coach Bauer. And this time it's Hamby keeping it on the ground. He comes in and plays that quarterback position periodically. Picks up just one.
More of the bulldozer there. You know, you're not going to see Jaden Ford do that, but you can see Jaden get on the edge there. But you know, usually the Cougars get inside the 10, they kind of start to want to knuckle it up a little bit and play that more physical style of football. Well, yeah, Caleb Pritchard, though, Brad, has been outstanding. You mentioned that catch in the end zone. Like, he's starting to become a major weapon for this football
Look
team.
out. Bad snap. The old Fumblerooski for the touchdown.
Malone.
Damari Malone. The Fumblerooski's been banned. It was just a bad exchange between center and quarterback. And sometimes the bounces just go your way. And that's exactly what happens here on the 5-yard touchdown run.
You want to talk about the ball bouncing your way. It's not a round-shaped ball, folks. The ball does not roll the same way every time. So, boy, right to Damari Malone's hands, 6 points for the Cougars. They'll take it. In a game like tonight, you're going to take whatever you get. That's one that's going to be on the highlight film, but that's not how they drew it up.
Austin Aronowski looking to add on the extra point, and it's blocked. It is blocked. Can't return it. Pressure comes from the outside, and the extra point is blocked. We remain 6-0 with 7:23 left to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, a lot of pressure came from the top of the screen there, and he came in untouched and easily blocked it. That was number 6 for the Bulldogs.
Kelly.
He came flying in and blocked that, so we'll see if that point comes back later to haunt the Cougars or not. But nice opening second drive as they mowed the ball down the field and got a touchdown on the Fumblerooski play.
Took them less than 2 minutes to find the end zone. 6 plays covering 48 yards. Really good starting field position after pinning Romeo deep. Starting over on the 48-yard line, and the Cougars lead it now 6-0.
Well, Brad, they did a nice job of mixing up that drive. Inside-outside runs, down the field passing, and just kind of had the Bulldogs on their heels that whole drive. Very nice play calling by Coach Ploots there up in the box, and got Cougars a nice roll. Plus, the defense did a nice job of pinning them deep into their own end, not allowing the Bulldogs to get out of there, setting them for some nice field position.
So you play the field position game. It works out to perfection on the second drive of the football game. Cougars now in front 6-0. Aronowski kicked the football away. Kicks it deep. It's going to be short of the goal line. Caught at the 5, up to the 15. Stutter step to the 20, to the 24-yard line. DJ Phillips with the kick return. And they're actually going to give him the 25-yard line.
A little bit of a generous spot. The old NFL touchback rule, I guess you can call that, huh? Well, Cougar defense off to a great start here. We'll see what the Bulldogs come out here and try their second drive, but the defense definitely looked great on the first drive.
Quick swing pass out to the flats. Was looking to hook up that time with DJ Phillips. Phillips trying to plead his case that he caught that football.
Yeah, Trevor Johnson was covering him, then he kind of creeped in and came on a blitz, and he tried to get rid of it quickly, but he tipped that and knocked it down and caused the incompletion as a safety rolled over the top to cover the blitzing cornerback.
So we mentioned Burrows 80% a week ago, 178 yards, 2 scores, and an interception against Anchor Bay. And a touchdown pass to Meyer and to Phillips. And another incomplete. This time he was looking for his big tight end, Jake Watson.
Yeah, they love those big tight ends over there in Romeo. We get to go visit them in the middle school on Tuesday. They cook them over there for some reason. I don't know how they do it, but that little RPO there and nice hit, jar that ball loose and not let him get it. I believe that was Damari Malone, right?
Damari Malone, the young man, really showing off now. He's just a junior, getting all kinds of looks now at the Division I level.
Yeah, this is a very balanced Romeo offense. So this shows you how good the Cougar defense is right now. They really kind of not let Romeo get going here. And we'll see if they go into their bag of tricks. They got a lot of different types of plays out of the same formation, kind of like the old Eisenhower offense.
Victor Earl, the tailback. They fake the handoff to him. Burrows nowhere to go. Terrific pursuit that time by Jalen Whitaker, who's going to be taking his talents to Kalamazoo next year in Western Michigan University.
Yeah, great open field tackle there by Jalen. And again, another drive at just 3 yards. So in 2 drives, the Bulldogs have managed 6 total yards, Brad. That's outstanding defense. And, the one thing we've talked about with the Dakota Cougars over the years, Coach Bauer-led defenses, boy, they just do a number on you defensively. There is nobody in the area, maybe even the planet, who watches more film on the opposing team's offense than Coach Bauer.
Kick is away. It's a good one. Fair catch called for and made by Felicia at the 40-yard line.
And another good an opening drive field position. They're going to give them the 41 there, Brad. So referees feel a little generous tonight. Let's take it.
In our preseason show, talking to a lot of the captains of this Dakota Cougar team, they mentioned that their head coach, Greg Bauer, is a defensive genius.
I mean, he's been at Chippewa Valley. He's been here. I mean, his resume speaks for itself. His defenses have been outstanding every year. They're prepared, they're well coached, they're well taught, and they are always on top of things. And they'll fumble there on the snap. But I mean, yeah, when you come in and play the Dakota Cougars, and Coach Bauer, whatever you play, if Coach Bauer is a defensive coordinator, you better have your P's and Q's ready offensively, because their defense is going to give you fits. He's going to bring blitzes from everywhere, and that's just what he does.
Well, think back to that playoff game a season ago against Romeo, district title game. Dakota wins 17-0, and they won it going away, and we got an interception. It's Victor Earl. Now the ball pops out. I believe that's still a live ball.
They made a one-handed pick. He bobbled it. He got it with one hand and kind of bobbled it, then got a handle on it. And then it looks like the ground might have caused that fumble there, because when he got slammed, that ball just shot up like crazy. But they called it a live ball, and Romeo was able to dive on it. You want to talk about, just a rough 2 plays here for Dakota on their 3rd drive. And boy, they've given the Bulldogs fantastic field position at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, ball spotted at the Dakota 31.
Might see a heavy dose of Earl here, get him going.
Victor Earl coming off a 13-carry, 124-yard performance with a touchdown. So that's 9.5 yards per carry against Anchor Bay a week ago.
Well, he just got almost 9, maybe 10 on that play, so he got pretty close to the marker before going down. So broke a tackle early, and now he's down over there again, looks like. Is that him? Someone's down over the far side, sitting on the chains. They got a different running back in there, so it might be him again.
That was Victor Earl. Kind of got twisted down along that far sideline.
He's had a rough 2 possessions here. We're just, if he was Ailing coming into the game or not, but he had a 9.5-yard run there, and now he's down again, and being attended to by the Bulldog training staff. Yeah, some games around the area. Chippewa Valley's got their hands full tonight. Stevenson. I saw some film of Dakota's game against Stevenson, and I watched that kid scramble to his left. Last play of the game, the Cougars won. It was a very tight game. Scrambles to his left, and about 40 yards throws the ball across the field, and a receiver from Stevenson breaks open. And if it wasn't for Dylan Beidelshe's knocking the kid out at the 2-yard line, the Titans would have pulled off a huge upset against the Cougars. So Chippewa's got their hands full tonight, containing the young man from Stevenson, who was a freshman last year. Now as a sophomore, a little bit bigger, a little stronger, a little bit more confident. And then, of course, Eisenhower playing Anchor Bay. So if the Cougars win tonight, the Big Reds win tonight, and the Eagles win tonight, you're going to have a 4-way tie for first place.
And that's why
Here we go, baby.
That's why we always talk about how difficult it is to win the MAC Red. And this was hard contact in the backfield. Mario Delicio went backwards. Did get back to the line of scrimmage. Canby, of course, the first man in. 3rd down, 1 to go. Felicio remains in. Burrow
Screen.
on the screen pass, nothing going there. Jake Watson, the tight end, looking for a call. Thought maybe perhaps he was held.
Looked like he had a little bit of a hook there, but the referee wasn't buying it. And gonna be 4th down. Now they got the foot to kick this. Watching the Romeo kicker put that kickoff pretty deep. But at the 22-yard line, you're gonna see the Bulldogs knuckle it up here and try to go for it. I would, if I was the Romeo offense, I would find out where number 8 is though in a hurry.
Romeo's kicker, Joe Seeley, a very good kicker. He is a perfect 3 for 3 with a long of 41 this year.
Maybe a quarterback sneak.
Romeo going under center this time.
Oh, maybe a little freeze action, a little freeze play.
Hayden Burrow sending a couple men in motion. Went with a hard count, trying to draw Dakota offside. They didn't flinch. And now Romeo will take a timeout to talk things over. I have to imagine they're going to keep the offense on the field.
I would think so. Maybe that was kind of more of a little razzle dazzle, trying to see what the Cougars do, but maybe have something they can run off of that. Usually that freeze play is kind of a feeling out how they're going to line up to your formation and how you're going to attack it. So I would have a feeling here you might see a blitz coming from Coach Bauer. This is kind of the time where they like to do it, but Romeo is very good at getting the perimeter and blocking off that perimeter. I don't think you're going to go up the middle on the Cougars, but what the heck do I know? I'm just a middle school coach.
So the Bulldogs will bring their offense back out. Hayden Burrows,
same
the
formation.
senior quarterback. Tight ends galore.
Sweet.
They bring Phillips over. And Dakota comes up with the defensive stop. It's Hamby time.
Nobody, and I mean nobody, blocked number 8. How do you not block number 8? That's like, don't kick it to David Ellis. How do you not block Brady Hamby? He comes in, makes a tackle in the backfield. You want to talk about a huge momentum swing? You just gave them a gift on the 31-yard line, and they couldn't even get a first down. That's outstanding.
Not only that, but they lost the yard on 4th down.
Right.
So Dakota dodges a gigantic bullet after the Jaden Ford interception. 4:19 still left to go in the first quarter.
Remember, Brad, Romeo had a 9-yard run on 1st down and did not convert.
That is a huge stop defensively by Dakota, and you have to think that gives them major momentum as they take over on downs. Skylar Simmons keeps it on the ground up to the 30-yard line.
Well, he almost looked like he was going to break that tackle, and if he would have broke that tackle, there was nobody in front of him. Nobody.
8 yards on 1st down gets you right back on script.
Seems like quite a long first quarter, doesn't it? I mean,
It
they're
sure
in their
does.
4th possession of the game, and we still have just under 4 minutes now to go in the quarter.
Well, Romeo did have that 3 and out.
Quick turnover.
They had back-to-back 3 and outs.
Oh, there he goes.
Simmons across the 35 up to the 37. The 2 runs netting Simmons 15 yards. It'll move the chains for Dakota.
You know, I think the game of the week tonight is Elmont and some other school, Cross-Lex. You know, where they closed the 1-lane turn road down up there, you know, to play the game. I have no idea why no one's out here covering this game. I mean, you got 2 of the top teams in the Macomb Area Conference playing each other, and there's nobody out here. It doesn't make any sense to me. But what do I know?
So Brady Hamby in there along with Jaden Ford, and it's an interception. Jumping the route. Darion Foster.
Did they say he dropped it? Oh,
no, they're going to
they called
say
a
interception. So Ford threw a couple interceptions last week, and now back-to-back drives with interceptions.
Yeah, Darion Foster. He read that. He wasn't fooled on that short pass. He was there the whole way. Almost lost it. Looked like he kind of stabbed it with the one hand and then came down with it, but he came down the pick. And
the Dakota staff is adamant that this was an incomplete pass. It sure looked that way on initial reaction. And they're going to stick with Bulldog football.
Huh. That near side official now made that call. I'm sure his ears are going to be ringing right now. He's got several coaches letting him know that, yeah. I wouldn't want to be him for any amount of money in the world right now, Brad. That's hard to, it's hard to even tell from the replay, of course. We kind of get shielded from that, but.
And now,
did Coach Bauer throw the red flag and challenging it? We could be the challenge booth up here. I think we do a great job. Incomplete pass, Dakota ball. There we go. I don't know if he asked for clarification.
And now they're going to change.
Now oh my! Now if you're the other side, if you're Romeo, I'd be losing my mind. Because how do you change your mind?
Is there
no replay? No. Coach Reedus is out there with his hands up in the air, like, you got to be kidding me. And I don't blame him. How do you just change your mind midstream? You can't go to replay. You can't go. Coach Reedus isn't the only one over there with his hands up in the air. I can tell you that much right now, and he's going to get an explanation. I don't care what he tells him. He ain't going to like it.
Well, the initial, let's get another look at it. Nice job by our live truck here. Jim Calderon, our director tonight. A little play action. Ball
up
pops
in the air,
up.
And he grabs it. So unless it hit the ground when it came out.
Boy, that looked like a clean intercept.
It looked like a pick from the camera angle. If we were the instant replay booth, we would be saying Romeo
the
ball.
call on the field was an intercept.
Right. And then
here we go. Here's a different camera angle.
3-4 minutes later, they overturned the call.
Here's another look at it. Ball pops out, and he cleanly catches it on the rebound.
You can't see anything hit the ground at all. And it looked like he rolled over with it, and the ball went up into the air. But again, that's what it looks like. We don't have the technology NFL has with the pylon cams and the first down marker cams and the high school football, Brad.
We got two good,
right.
We got two really good clean looks at it. Nice job by our entire Chippewa Valley cable television staff.
There is no explanation you can give to Coach Reedus right now that he's going to turn around and go, yeah, okay, and he's letting them know about it right now. I can't blame him.
This is truly a game-changing call here.
He's not happy. I wouldn't be either. Wow.
Well, as an official,
I'm going to refrain from the thoughts that are going in my head right now, Brad. I'm just going to err on the side of silence.
You never want to be part of the storyline as an official.
No. And they're still trying to figure this out.
And this is sort of kind of hard to believe. You don't typically see a call get overturned.
We have a couple of raffle prizes to give away.
This is quite the stall going on. We still got like a 47-minute halftime show coming here too, so let's go here, guys.
The winner is Marta Zelinsky. Please head down to the Concourse Team Stadium entrance and claim your prize.
At this point, I don't even know what the discussion could be.
Well, the Cougar offense.
Well, here we go. We're going to get a call from the head referee.
They are mic'd now. Chippewa Valley Schools have gone to mic the officials.
The play is your play.
They're going to replay the play.
Was an inadvertent whistle on an interception. Oh my God.
Jeff, that.
Did you hear a whistle?
No. And you know what? Boy,
I know I've been known to be blind and can't see numbers, but I can hear pretty well. I didn't hear a whistle. Wow. I even think that's the worst. I think that's the worst explanation you can give Coach Reedus right there was an inadvertent whistle. Like, you can't tell me there was a whistle. Oh my gosh. Well, Dakota's gonna get the ball. Second down.
Yeah, second down.
4 on their own 34-yard line, and the turnover does not count. And boy, do they dodge a major bullet.
Because it would have been back-to-back drives with an interception.
Hey, you think they're going to call that play again?
No, we're going to take that one directly out of the playbook. Ford with the hard count, trying to draw Romeo offside. Now looks over at the play call on those big placards on the near side. Romeo looking to bring a little pressure. Simmons on the ground across the 40, keeps his feet. Up to the 43-yard line, pick up the 6, first down Cougars.
I've been corrected, by the way, sorry, it's Coach Reines. Reines. I just know him as Kurt from a long time ago, so Barry had to really call him by his last name, but Coach Reines, sorry, Coach. I still know you don't agree with the call, and I'm right there with you, whether your name is Reines or Reines. Oh boy.
And
he
now,
threw it right to him.
And now they're going to say an incomplete pass.
Oh my. Oh my.
The ball definitely bounced this time, but was it a forward pass or was it a fumble? We'll get another look at it. That's clearly a forward
it bounced.
pass.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, they got that one right. The problem is you're on bad credit from the last call.
Right.
And
so now everything's being questioned. No, that one clearly hit the turf and bounced up.
It's not a good night for the officials to have a bad night when you got two teams with a lot on the line playing each other, and these guys can't seem to tell their foot from their hand because they're struggling right now. I think the referees need a timeout.
Still 2:13 left to go in this first quarter. Now a flag coming from the far sideline, illegal procedure.
What is going on here? We are still in the first quarter, by the way. 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the first quarter. We are in the never-ending football game of the first quarter.
Oh, by the way, it's homecoming.
Yeah, I said that, 47-minute halftime.
Might be breaking curfew here tonight.
I feel my hair grow at halftime at homecoming. Good Lord.
So glad you decided to tune us in here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television. If you're watching on home, YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button.
All 17 of you, we appreciate you.
Ford hands off to Simmons.
Oh,
ball's
no,
loose,
fumble!
Look out, Romeo. House call, touchdown.
No inadvertent whistle, streaker on the field, whatever you want to call it. That is going to be a touchdown, not overturned by the Bulldogs.
Joey DeBaldo with the touchdown. It's funny how the game always kind of sort of has a way of sorting itself out.
That may have been the most unusual circumstances in a series I think I've ever seen.
And the funniest thing is the ball pops out and everybody kind of froze.
In one series for Dakota, the Romeo defense, thought they had 2 turnovers and ended up with a third one. The third time's the charm, I guess. And the extra point is good. And now the Bulldogs, who looked like it had a golden opportunity taken away from them, have a 7-6 lead. Wow.
And it really quiets this home crowd with 2:02 left to go in the first quarter. Simmons, who has been phenomenal all season long, has been sort of the bell cow here this evening, as we get another look at that extra point that gives the Bulldogs a 7-6 lead.
Yeah, these MAC Red games, turnovers are such a big deal. I would love to talk to Kurt after the game and literally find out what that guy was saying to him, because I think that would be, from a coach's stance, there is nothing you could tell a coach when you got to go over there and have that conversation where he's just going to go, hey, okay, that sounds good. I think I'll go with that. There is nothing you can tell. There's nothing you can tell him. But in the end, they have the touchdown.
Ball doesn't lie, right?
Geez, so Pete.
At the end of the day, the ball doesn't lie.
Where's Rasheed Wallace out here? Just to, they should put that up on the scoreboard or something. Comes out and says something like that. I don't know. the strangest set of circumstances and sequences I have ever seen in high school football.
And now a muffed kick return.
He's buried at the 10-yard line.
Alicia gets it back to the 10-yard line.
Boy, what Dakota started out so strong, and now the last couple of sequences of getting the football, they've just really shot themselves in the foot. Now we got bad field position here at the 10. You turnover, it costs a touchdown. These guys need to kind of reset themselves, get themselves going here, because right now all the momentum is over there on the Romeo Bulldog side.
So back-to-back drives ending in turnovers. Back to the drawing board offensively, and it's going to be Hamby at the QB position here to start this drive. And Hamby, as we know, has thrown passes this season. He's thrown 25, in fact. Now we'll keep it on the ground, gets it up to the 16-yard line, pickup of 6 on first down.
Well, we know he can throw, but usually in this formation, you know, it's going to be a primary run. And I think right now, with Dakota's offense, right now you're just trying to slow things down a little bit and kind of catch your breath and kind of get your feet back underneath you as you know, things have gotten a little crazy over the last few minutes.
Sticking with the ground and pound game. Hamby up to the 20.
Got to the marker for 5 Bulldogs lawn darted him into the turf. He's kind of bending a little bit. You can tell he's going, that did not feel good. But not only that, you know, when you get done with your series on offense, then you gotta go make 4th down stops on defense.
So Pritchard and Morin at the wideout position.
You would think they got to have some in the playbook where he takes a step forward like he's going to run, and he just turns one loose and lets one fly.
Tuchowski.
But why when he runs for 6 yards a pop?
Tuchowski in at the running back position, and Hamby calls his own number. Pickup of 6.
I mean, if he calls his own number, would you argue with him? I wouldn't. You know, like, keep going, son.
Keep on keeping on.
Man, he is just an absolute machine. And
Alex
that stop he made
Kelly.
on 4th down was outstanding. I mean, he's done it all year. You want to talk about the MVP of this football team? It's number 8.
Hamby again squirts his way around a couple Bulldogs.
He had that big 60-yard touchdown run last week against the Big Reds.
That was Hamby, Alex Kelly once again with the tackle. At 59 yards, Hamby finding the end zone. The lone Dakota first half touchdown in that football game. So that's 1 quarter in the books with the Romeo Bulldogs clinging to a 1-point lead, 7-6 our score. We'll keep it right here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television. A little bit of a nightmare first quarter if you're a Cougar fan, and yet you only find yourself trailing by 1 point.
Right. Or if you're a fan, because that was a 39-minute first quarter. And the halftime is going to be longer. Anyway, yeah, I mean, started out, I mean, you're talking about, you know, second drive, right down the field score. You get Bulldogs to go 3-0 on their first drive. And, I mean, make it 7-0 early, or 6-0 because you got the extra point block. You seem to stop the Bulldogs again on a huge turnover. You stop them on 4th down, and then a fumble 6. Now the Bulldogs all of a sudden had the lead in their offense. Brad has really done absolutely nothing. You know, the Cougar offense trying to get something going here on the ground, giving them a heavy dose of Brady Hamby.
Well, I think the question mark coming into tonight's play was the Romeo defense. Obviously, giving up over 24 points per game. Pritchard on the ground this time. Look out, Pritchard! Up near another first down. They're going to give it to him. 11 yards on the carry by Caleb Pritchard.
Well, over the last few weeks, we've said this quite a bit, is Caleb Pritchard has really become a force on this offense. with his feet, with his hands. And he's been a huge shot in the arm to this team who needs some more weapons, and he's showing it again tonight. Power.
Hamby.
Look out.
Cross midfield. Hamby. Up to the 42-yard line.
That's an outstanding open field tackle by Max Fountain. I don't know how comfortable you feel in your masculinity when you have number 8 running full speed at you, but he just put his head right in there, tackled those legs, and got him to the ground. We don't have height and weights on here, but Max Fountain does not look to be bigger than Brady Hamby from my vantage point here, Brad.
So it's a 14-yard run by Hamby. So kind of complete my thought.
Sorry about that.
The Romeo defense giving up 24.4 points per game. You mentioned the Stevenson game where they gave up 27, they gave up 35 to Caledonia, gave up 33 points to Roseville, but have kind of sort of hit their stride, so to speak. A 2014 win over Ike, a 31-13 win a week ago over Anchor Bay. They forced 2 turnovers here in the first quarter, and it really sort of limited what Dakota's been able to do offensively. Don't forget, Dakota's 6 points came on a very short field. They only had to go 48 yards.
Right, and that's been the name of the game. I mean, defensively, you can take the ball away from their team and set your offense up. I mean, you're going to put yourself in lots of positions to win. Obviously, something they didn't do their first couple games, which they struggled. I mean, they got that shootout with the Panthers, and you know, that's just kind of the uncomfortable feeling of whoever touches the ball last wins. And you know, even tonight, offensively they haven't been, you know, looked very sharp, but defensively they've been pretty strong. Dakota starting to seem to get something going on the ground here. The Bulldogs are going to need to make some adjustments to slow down this Cougar rushing attack, which it looks like it's starting to get going here a little bit.
That crazy harvest moon directly across from us as well, right on the horizon. Kind of a glowing orange color. Just what a perfect setting for high school football on a Friday night. Hamby once again up to the 37, picks up 5.
I mean, every time it looks like he's going to be tackled in the backfield, he squirts out of there for 6 extra yards. I mean, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, constantly moving the feet, and that's the true definition of a good runner. Very conservative plan of attack here on this drive for the Cougars.
I mean, it's right down their throat right now, and the Bulldogs haven't been able to stop it. It's been number 8 pretty much almost every time. Here it is again.
Very patient run up to the 28-yard line.
You know, that offensive line is opening up some holes. Justin Bell, Brendan Meehan. Trying to see some of the numbers down there. Bryce Ward.
Tyler
captain.
Torrey on the left-hand side. It's Hamby once again.
Nick Italia.
The 24.
Well, they're just grinding this Romeo defense right now. Just down the field. You can see some Bulldogs right now limping, and they're just taking a beating right now.
Jacob Turley eventually making the tackle for Romeo.
I mean, if you haven't had a chance to see Justin Bell up close, you thought Trent Morin was big. 6'8". I think I kinked my neck just looking up at him.
Damari Malone in as an extra blocking tight end for Hamby. They're going to run behind Malone. Hard to bring down Hamby when he's running downhill. 14 more yards.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's the Brady Hamby Show, starring number 8, Brady Hamby.
And it was kind of the game plan when he spelled relief in that game against Anchor Bay. It was heavy doses of Hamby on the ground in that ball game as well. And when you're picking up yardage like that, why not?
He's not being touched until he's 7 yards down the field. This kind of looks like the Lions-Packers game from the other night where the Lions just came out and punched Green Bay in the face. Right now, Dakota's punching Romeo in the face.
And that'll be the Bulldogs' final timeout of the half. So they're going to have to go the final 8:58 of the second quarter without a timeout.
You almost think they should get one back for that inadvertent whistle, but I'm sure. Listen, I'm sure when Romeo returns to the high school tonight, I guarantee that's one of the conversations they're going to have is that inadvertent whistle. That's going to be something that's not going to go away anytime soon.
No, you don't like to make excuses for the referees, but
no, that was bad.
That was really poor, especially when the call on the field was interception to reverse it. And I guess now's a good time to let you know the love of the game draws us to sports. It's players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill, putting on the uniform, stepping onto the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships, which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
You know, not to mention our 123 people watching right now, Brad, are blowing my phone up, telling me what kind of a bad call that was too. So, as our referees on the screen tonight are helping us out as well. Backside counter, he's gone. See ya.
Hamby, look out. Key block that time was supplied by Austin Tuchowski.
Brad, that's just a great scheme. You overload the right side, the defense overloads that side to kind of counter you, and you just go mano-a-mano to the backside. They pull two guys here. There's Battaglia and Malone. Tuchowski gets a block, and Brady Hamby trots in the end zone. Boy, they make that look easy. Whoa. That was a man's drive. Now they're going to go for two here to try to make it back to a 7-point game, but that was a man's drive right there. That was outstanding. Look at that block. Look at a handful of blocks, all three of them. Touchdown.
And Hamby's 8th touchdown of the season. And the offense will stay on the field for this 2-point conversion try. Hamby going to keep it himself after faking the jet sweep to Caleb Pritchard.
Yeah, the funny thing is, Brad, is everyone on the place knows who's getting the ball, and you still can't stop it. Can't stop it.
It's a man amongst boys out there right now.
That offensive line just doing an outstanding job. And look at this. Look at the hole. I mean, that's outstanding hole. Look at that. That's how you put that in the training video at the coaches' clinics. I mean, look at this blocking. Oh.
You could have run through that hole.
Man, that taken me a few minutes. Brendan Meehan with a nice pull there. That was a beautiful block. Former Iroquois Panther, my man Brendan.
I don't think I could have plunged through that hole, but you certainly could have.
Yeah, I'd have probably tripped over somebody, maybe even the 5-yard line, but that's okay. I was a lineman. I was not fleet of foot.
So this Romeo offense hasn't been on the football field for very much of this first half.
No, they haven't even got a first down, Brad. They haven't even got a first down, right? Punt, turnover on downs.
Yeah.
They haven't got a first down.
Downs.
And it's 14-7 because of defense.
13 yards of offense.
Well, you want to talk about reestablishing your presence in that drive for Dakota? I think you're right now. I mean, if they come back on the field again offensively, I don't think that ball goes in the air one time. You're just going to beat these guys up.
Kickoff received at the 5-yard line, up to the 20.
Good coverage.
And across the 25 to the 26-yard line.
See if Victor Earl comes back on the field. I think that's him out there coming on. I got the lights kind of staring me in the face, but that looks like him walking out there. A little bit of a limp, but that's a tough kid right there.
Victor Earl committed to Central Michigan University.
Player of Chip.
Daniel Phillips, CMU offer as well. Jake Watson, the talented tight end for Romeo, a Kelvin offer. Ryan Rillier has a Tiffin offer.
Oh. They had someone deep there.
Romeo looking for the flag. They're not going to get it. Inadvertent tangle up there.
Whistle.
Yeah. This time it was an inadvertent tangle up.
Jeez Louise.
Looking to go to DeBaldo, who has the fumble recovery for a touchdown. So DeBaldo, the lone Bulldog touchdown. 5th incomplete pass already for Burrows. So Burrows was on the money a week ago, not nearly as sharp this evening.
A nice post route. Arnez Sanders had some pretty good coverage on it.
They bring Turner over in motion. He's in the slot. Burrows is going to throw one out to him in the flats. Tackled across the 30, gained the 32-yard line. Pickup of 6. We'll bring up a 3rd and a long 4 to go.
Even he comes up limping. It's a physical football game, folks, not for the faint of heart.
Arnez Sanders making his presence known on the defensive side of things for Dakota.
Smooth. I had him at Iroquois. Everything he did was smooth. That's we got the nickname. I still came out, said hello to me the day before the game, and that's why I refer to him as. He's a great kid, heck of an athlete, and he's going to help this team out tremendously. Plays a great corner for them.
Burrows, low throw.
He's short.
And even if it is caught, and it is, by DJ Phillips, they are a full yard short.
I mean, you already got stuffed on a 4th and 1. You're on your own 35-yard line. There's still 8. Plenty of time to go. I mean, you get stuffed here and give them the ball. Oh, boy. Coach Reinitz turning it into Dan Campbell over there as we speak. Turning it like the Hulk, hulking it up.
And don't forget, they do not have a timeout. So they're not going to be able to try to draw Dakota offside and take a timeout. They're going to keep the offense out there.
He's already counting.
Back judge counting it down.
Here comes Earl. Oh, he pulled
Burrows keeps it himself.
No! Second effort, he might have got it.
And the tackle might have sent him over the line to gain. Because the contact was made in the backfield. And he was kind of thrown forward, Jeff.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to be stuffed, but boy, some huge second effort surge there, and the Bulldogs get the first down of the game.
This time the handoff to Victor Earl.
Well, he just does not look comfortable cutting out there. The Victor Earl we're used to seeing.
Minimal gain, picks up a couple. And they're going to give him all the way up to the 39, so pick up a 3. 7 minutes exactly left to go in the first half of play. Dakota 14, Romeo 7. MAC Red play. Week 6 of the MHSA football season. Homecoming here in Dakota. And a completion in to Cougar territory. Jake Watson.
Freshman Elijah Warren was there to put the boom on him, but did not let that go. And a nice pass over the middle for the Bulldogs. Romeo kind of starting to get something going here, Brad.
13 yards, moves the chains. Burrows, 5-step drop. Floats the pass. Oh, boy.
Sachowski never saw the ball. I think it was a little over his head. All he had his eyes fixed on Earl, but from up here, it looked like he was going to fixate on that ball and go for a touchdown.
At the Cougar 48-yard line.
So airmails the first down, pass incomplete. Tyler Torrey runs off. Needs a little bit of a break along that defensive line. Battle in the trenches amongst these teams is terrific. They got some big boys down there really getting after it tonight. Little reverse, little razzle-dazzle. Nice lead block by the quarterback, but nothing going there. DJ Phillips swallowed up immediately.
Well, the Bulldogs there on that play ran about 37 yards to gain 0.
And it's Hamby that eventually makes this tackle. Burrows supplying the block there for a terrific open field tackle made once again by Hamby. 3rd down, 10 to go, 5:50 left to go in the first half.
That's why they say, Brad, you run north and south, not east and west.
Burrows in the pistol. Asks Ben Turner to come over. Hands it off to him, and it's Hamby once again. Hamby makes the initial tackle, and Austin Tchaikovsky comes in and cleans it up
Does this kid ever get tired? I get tired of watching him. How does he? I mean, he just rushed the ball 65 times in the last drive, and now he's running sideline to sideline, making several tackles on defense. Look at this play.
4th down and 8.
What a motor.
It looks like Romeo's going to kick this ball away.
Yeah, 4th and 8. The odds aren't in your favor there. You get a chance to maybe pin the Cougars deep. You never know. The defense has already gotten one tonight.
No, it caused 2 turnovers.
Right, but one of them turned into points. They're only points.
Varsity takes a good Bulldog bounce. And Michael Felicia not going to take any chances. He covers it up. So the Cougars are going to have to drive 91 yards if they want to find the end zone, as they get pinned all the way back on the 9-yard line.
Remember, the Cougars wanted the ball to start the game, so Romeo will get the ball to start the second half. So if you're the Cougars here, my guess is after what we just saw, you're going to see how he goes to Brady Hamby. I don't know how he's anything left in the tank after what we saw the last Dakota drive and the last Romeo drive, but Jaden Ford is actually coming out at quarterback, maybe giving the big call some rest. So
already the Cougars' 6th offensive drive of this football game. So Jaden Ford in at quarterback. And they're going to hand to Simmons. Kind of explores a little bit. Falls forward as well.
we didn't have the ball 6 times our entire game last game at Earswood. They've had 6 possessions in the first half.
4-yard gain on first. Clock continues to work down. 4:15 now left to go in the first half.
Just keeping his feet moving, getting forward. That's just great running. Heck of a 4-yard run right there.
Ford in the shotgun. 3-step drop. Flings it out a little high through the hands of Caleb Pritchard. Usually the sure-handed. It's maybe perhaps because he used 2 hands rather than 1.
That other hand got in the way.
So a play that Pritchard typically makes.
Sometimes the easiest ones, Brad, are the toughest ones to make.
Romeo coming into play this evening, 3-2, 3-0 in the MAC Red. Just like Dakota, long history of making the playoffs. In fact, they have made the playoffs 19 straight seasons. Last time they missed, 2003. Now, Pritchard comes down with that ball in traffic.
How'd he catch that?
Unbelievable.
They look like literally they're both fighting over the football. You know, he just came, he just basically, I don't think both caught that. The game took that right from him and said, it's my ball.
I pointed it to perfection, picks up 9. More importantly, moves the chains.
Joey DeBaldo trying to figure out what had happened there, but he just took that ball away from you, Joey. What a play. Because he was the only one there with about 4 or 5 Bulldogs in the vicinity.
Dakota really in no hurry. A little timing route that time with Pritchard. Now look out, a little yak attack. Stays on his feet up across the 45. Give me some of that. 23 yards on the pitch and catch.
Yeah, that was a 5-yard hitch and a 17-yard run after that. That's man's play right there. Caleb Pritchard.
All of a sudden now, Jaden Ford starting to feel it just a bit at the quarterback position. They do bring in Brady Hamby.
He's kind of becoming this year's Owen Copart lately. Just making play after play after play.
It's easy to spot him out there with those bright gold gloves as well. Bring Colin Schneed in motion. They hand to Hamby. Hamby cuts through a couple Bulldogs, finally brought down.
He is just a runaway freight train.
Xavier Ruja brings him down.
He even lost his shoe, and that doesn't stop him. Jeez.
This feels more like a Dakota drive. Very methodical, mixing up the play calling, terrific balance of pass and run. Ford really starting to get some momentum. Simmons.
Got
And a late flag comes in as well.
Face mask probably. That's going to get him closer.
So Simmons picks up 14.
Where they're putting that flag, that's going to be a 15-yarder.
Face masking the call.
Five-yard face mask. I don't know, looked like he had his hand in that face mask for quite a long way. But
it's the old incidental face mask, which no longer exists at any other level except the high school game.
it was an inadvertent face mask.
Right, but that no longer exists at any other level but high school. Everything
But it
else
was-
is 15 yards.
But it was inadvertent.
That's right. Just like the whistles tonight.
Man. Uh-oh.
Skylar Simmons. Oh, he jukes out a man. Well, momentary juke job.
Boy, these last two drives for the Cougars, they have just run the ball right down the throat of the Bulldogs.
Imposing their will.
And there's nothing Romeo can do. They're just imposing their will. And look at it. No one's there. There's nobody there. He's 10 yards on the field and he finally gets touched. There's nobody there.
Yeah, the big boys up front really getting the job done tonight, aren't they?
Man.
Simmons again. Goes right edge. Up to the 11. Pick up a 5. And really, Dakota's winning it on first down. They are picking up big chunks of yardage on first down, and it makes these second downs so much more manageable, and it really opens up the playbook.
Yeah, 6 yards, 9 yards, double-digit yards. I mean, they're just crunching for these poor Bulldogs. This Romeo defense is tired.
Approaching 1 minute remaining here in the first half. Don't forget, this drive started out on the 9-yard line. Hamby inside the 5. Another late flag flies in.
It's not fair.
Hamby down to the 3, pickup of 8.
When he gets going downhill, it's almost mission impossible.
And holding going to be the call here against the Cougars.
Is that Dakota's first penalty drive?
I believe it is.
Not an inadvertent hold, though.
No, this one was done on purpose, apparently. So 10 yards from the spot of the foul. We'll move the football back to the 15-yard line.
I mean, you're still in good shape to continue to run the ball, but you are at 53 seconds to go. So, and Dakota's got 2 timeouts left. So you're at a point where you might have to take a shot here and there, depending on what you can get here. 3rd and 9.
Looking for the end zone. Morin too tall, out of his reach. Well thrown ball. It was only a spot that Morin could come down with it.
Boy, he was just one-on-one coverage out there with Darion Foster. Huge height advantage.
The scoreboard was incorrect. This will bring up 3rd down.
Okay.
They didn't reset it after the holding penalty.
I mean, I like the play call. They took a shot here. Maybe setting up a screen here to Hamby. He's on the field.
So it's 3rd down, 9 to go. The line to gain is the Bulldog 6-yard line.
Connor Meehan coming on, playing that wing back there, trying to open up some holes. They're packing the box.
Bulldogs bringing all kinds of pressure. Good protection. And overthrown once again. Same sort of look there on back-to-back plays as Morin was once again the intended wide receiver. Well, this would be a 32-yard field goal attempt.
Pretty much a chip shot. Austin Aronowski's got a fantastic leg. And of course the surefire hands of Jeremy Bauer.
Aronowski, 17 of 18 coming in tonight on extra points, but 0 for 2. Only 2 attempts this season. Hasn't been able to cash in on one yet. 32-yarder, high snap. They get it down. The kick is up. The kick is good.
Right down the pipe.
Jeremy Bauer, terrific hold.
Now you make it a 2-score game, and with the, Romeo's offense started to get things going, but really, if you look at the overall body of work tonight, the Bulldog offense has struggled, and now with Dakota starting to really grind him on the ground, you start to wonder how that's going to affect their offense, as they do have several guys going both ways. I mean, just
4-minute drive, essentially. 11 plays. Eventually stalls out at the 15-yard line. So they cover 76 yards.
Shoot up a ton of time. Because you do have to give the ball back to them. They are getting the ball to start the second half. They don't have a whole lot of time. With no timeouts either, you just wonder if the Bulldogs just take a knee here and go into halftime and regroup.
All depends on this kick return.
Check the score stream here too. Chippewa Valley at second quarter up on Stevenson, 21-7.
It's a road game for the Big Reds. Don't forget, next week is Chippewa Valley's homecoming as they will take on these Romeo Bulldogs. That's a game you can see right here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television's YouTube channel. Jeff Vitale and myself will have the call of that one starting at 7 p.m. next Friday.
And Eisenhower and Anchor Bay are on here 0-0. That means either nobody's at the game or no one knows what score stream is.
Or there's no score.
Or there's no score in the first quarter at 8:07.
It's a high kick. It's going to be short of the goal line, returnable here for the Bulldogs.
Nice coverage.
And 25-yard line is where the Bulldogs will put the ball in play with just 32 seconds. So one would think the Bulldogs will likely just take a knee and head into the halftime break, especially with no timeouts. Cougars do have 2 timeouts remaining in this half.
Does not look like they are taking a knee. There goes that thought.
That's why I'm up here and not on the sidelines. Burrows comes out firing.
Pitch.
Ben Turner, that's a first down. Clock will stop momentarily to move those chains.
If you're the Cougars, Brett, you just want to keep in bounds. That's all. They got a long way to go.
14-yard pickup there on first down helps. Tuchowski makes the tackle. Burrows rolls out to his right, plenty of time. Fires, incomplete. Watson, the intended wide receiver, will stop the clock with 19 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Well, apparently no one from Eisenhower or Anchor Bay are on Twitter either, or X or whatever you want to call it now. But so we don't have a score of their game, but right now here, it's Dakota kind of regained its balance after that fumble 6. They seem to just be pounding the Romeo Bulldogs on the ground. Really, really showing that toughness that they've been known for.
Second down, 10 to go. Turner comes over, he's in the slot position. Low snap, Burrows able to bring it down. Look out, oh boy. Nearly intercepted Damari Malone. That pass was telegraphed.
I think Damari might have peeked at the end zone or something. He was all over that pass.
Yeah, I think if he catches that football in stride, he's gone. He kind of made a diving stab at it. We'll get another look at it here in our Chippewa Valley Cable Television replay.
He made a better break on it than the receiver did. I mean, look at this. Oh, there's nobody in front of him. And I mean nobody.
Third down, 10 to go, 15 seconds. Victor Earl, way deep. This appears to be a knee. And now Dakota's going to take a timeout. Which I don't really blame him here with 10 seconds remaining in the first half.
I mean, you never know if you run a back. I mean, with the stuff that's happened today, why not?
Well, you got a dangerous return man. You've blocked a couple punts already this season.
Hey, Brad, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Halftime score. Anchor Bay 7, Eisenhower 0.
Wow. That would be a huge shake-up in the MAC Red if Anchor Bay is able to come away with their first league victory.
The winner of the 1-hour free massage, courtesy of
And not only that, who do the Eagles get next week?
in Utica is Carney Wright.
Dakota.
Dakota.
Beat by the
At home, on the
Right.
road for Dakota.
and the entrance. Carney
Yeah,
Wright
Dakota's remaining schedule at Eisenhower. Back home on October 13th against Ford. That'll be a game we have right here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television before ending the regular season on the road on the red turf of Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
That's going to be a game where everybody plays. They're going to have to punt. I love the timeout. Oh, they're coming.
We're going to let it bounce.
Yeah, the clock run out.
And the clock will, in fact, run out. A very entertaining first half of play, to say the least. The home team, the Dakota Cougars, on their homecoming, lead by 10, 17-7. Jeff Vitale, your thoughts on the first half of play?
Well, things got a little crazy when Romeo took that fumble back for a touchdown to make it 7-6. But since then, I mean, it's almost like he kind of woke up the sleeping giants a little bit, meaning that offensive line in Dakota. As, Brady Hamby drive, kicking it in all the way down, and then on this previous drive, taking it down there and getting a field goal and going up 10 by the half. So since that fumble, it has been all Dakota Cougars.
11 straight points for Dakota. They will take that halftime break with the lead, 17-7. We'll turn it over now to the halftime homecoming festivities. Our dance team, our parade of athletes, floats, bands.
Yes, it's 8:13 now. We'll see you guys back at about 9 o'clock.
Don't tell the viewers that. Just keep it locked right here to Chippewa Valley Cable Television. When we come back, it'll be the second half of play, but enjoy the homecoming festivities here on a beautiful Friday night.
I won't stop. With a big sack, I give him that D-bop. Take that, take that, take that, take that. I'ma put in work. I'ma do that ASAP. Throw my feet in the rap. When they say don't say that, huh? Well, if I listen to you and everything you feel in my ear, I'll be living like, I'll be paralyzed by fear. Ain't that the truth? If I quit, the only way I lose, I got two choices when I do this. Make moves or make excuses. If you know what I'm talking about, then you got me. My biggest enemy is me, and even I can't stop it. They try to shut us down and it ain't gon' slide. Only thing I'm in is God and the other side. That's the confidence I got, 'cause I got me. That's why I really feel like you can't stop me. You got the power, hey, shut me down. That's not enough, I'm my biggest problem. You got the power, hey, shut me down. That's not enough, you can't stop me.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Dakota Cougar Marching Band under the direction of Justin McCarowitz and Kurt Mass. Led by drum majors Meg McSherry, Izzy Camara, Becca Ottinger, and Asher Hickey. Tonight the band will perform part of their show titled Destiny, inspired by the Impossible Dream. Music for tonight's performance includes Impossible Dream, arranged by Bhakta, and Jeho by the Pussycat Dolls. Music for tonight's performance is arranged by Derek Eating and Thomas Wharton. Visual design was created by Brandon Balicki and Noah Dreyer. We would like to give special thanks to Aspen Restaurant, El Charros, Red Robin, Zaccaro's, Banquet Catering, and Crank's Catering for your support of the Dakota Cougar Marching Band. Drum majors, you may now begin your halftime performance.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game. I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Welcome back to Dakota High School. Nearly set to go. Second half of play. Homecoming festivities over and done with. Back to the reason why we are here tonight. MHSAA Week 6 football. Romeo Bulldogs trailing the Dakota Cougars 17-7. 24th all-time meeting between these two teams, Jeff, and Dakota, the 14-9 edge in terms of head-to-head matchups. They have the lead here through the 2 quarters of play.
By the way, if you took the under in my 47-minute halftime prediction, you won because it was a 24-minute halftime presentation. Very well done, by the way. But yeah, we're going to see now. You know, both teams got a chance to make some adjustments. The Romeo offense has struggled a little bit. We'll see what they come out with as they come out spraying the entire field. And they got an answer to this Cougar defense.
5 wide receivers set. DJ Phillips now split off to the right. Victor Earl, the running back in the slot on the left-hand side. Nobody home there. Miscommunication that time between quarterback and wide receiver. DJ Phillips kind of split off his route there. Ben Turner, the closest Bulldog to the football.
I think Caden Burrows there led him a little bit too far, and the pass is incomplete. But you know, not a great executed play on first down as you had the entire halftime there to adjust. And the Bulldogs need to get something going. Only a 10-point lead, but if the Cougars get the ball back and put 7 up, that's when you really start to kind of put a stranglehold on this game, because you know that defense just starts to tighten right up, and then that offense goes into ball control mode. So you don't want to do that if you're the Bulldogs.
47 yards of offense in that first half for the Romeo Bulldogs. Their lone touchdown was scored on defense.
Yep.
On a fumble recovery.
And they got that ball moving on that one drive before we kind of stalled it out, but the big fella right there across the middle. They just haven't seemed to be just in sync tonight offensively. And their defense has been on the field a long time in that first half.
Yeah, 2 very long scoring drives for Dakota that started off deep in their own territory. They went 90 yards to pay dirt, eventually capping it off with a Brady Hamby touchdown run. Damari Malone, the other touchdown on kind of a broken play, a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Burrows deep, got a man. Brought down by Elijah Warren, and not before a first down. Ben Turner with the reception.
They found that soft spot in the middle of the field, put it in there nicely. Bulldogs here on the move. That's a long halftime, man. Homecoming halftimes are a long halftime. Just be in that locker room, trying to find a way to relax, reset yourself, and sometimes even too the team with the momentum can kind of slow them down a little bit too. It's tough to refocus. You're in there for such a long time than what you're normally used to.
Screen set up, well blocked. DJ Phillips off to the races. Tackle made by Aiden Lindsay. About a yard short of the first down markers.
Yeah, nice job by Aiden getting back on that play for his defensive tackle spot. Beautifully executed bubble screen.
Looking for the tight end again. Terrific open field tackle.
That was Arnett Sanders, I believe. Sweep the leg, Johnny.
Elijah Warren making the tackle.
They'll bring up third down for the Bulldogs.
Oh, yeah, well, nice play there by the freshman. Yes, folks, that is a 14-year-old making that play.
Third down and 2 to go.
If you've ever seen Elijah Warren up close, he doesn't look like he's 14 years old. Looks like a junior. He's about 6'2". He's about 160, 170 pounds. He's a big kid.
Burrows in the shotgun. Hands.
Nice cutback.
Terrific cutback. Victor Earl. Earl staying on his feet, finally ushered out of bounds. Jalen Whitaker making the tackle, but not before a big gain.
That's what
14 yards.
He came all the way across the field there. He cut back, he saw an opening, and made one Cougar miss, and now he's off the races. Nice angle pursuit there by Whitaker, but not before Victor Earl gets a big gain.
First time the Bulldogs have been in Dakota territory.
That's crazy.
This kind of has the same sort of feel as that district championship game from a season ago. Dakota won it 17-0, where they just really stuffed anything Romeo could do offensively. Earl splits off. Burrows taking the shot downfield. Ooh, single coverage on the outside, incomplete.
Dylan Bitos, he's out there in the coverage and couldn't get around him, and just off his fingertips. Didn't quite make it there. Needed one more step, but that was a nicely thrown ball.
DeBaldo, wide receiver on the outside. And he had that separation from Beetleshees.
A little bit of a kind of like almost like an out and up double move, and
Jake Watson, the tight end, split off at the wide receiver position at the very top of the formation. Split off Victor Earl now into the slot on the right side of Burrows. Burrows quick slant route. Oh boy, separated from the football by Elijah Warren. Ben Turner absolutely plastered.
oh. Sorry, Ben Turner, you just got wrecked by a 14-year-old. That was, oh my God. What a hit, right in the lower back there. He gonna feel that one in the morning. I'm telling you that right now. That's one of the worst ones you can get. You got your hands up in the air and you just get that shoulder pad right in the lower back. Oh. Some of you may be watching at home going, man, why did you hold on to that? Yeah, you try holding on to that. Wow. Under screen.
And it's going to be just short of the first down markers. That's Ben Turner.
Austin Jachowski on the tackle.
4 yards short. The line to gain's the 30. So this will bring up a 4th down and 4 to go.
Yeah, Romeo's had a nice rhythm on this drive, Brad. This is kind of the most pep in the step we've seen from the offense tonight. Turner kind of came in motion, then kind of just ran a little underneath drag route there and was able to pick up 6 yards to make this a manageable down, at least to have a chance to pick up a first down. 4th and 4 is a heck of a lot easier than 4th and 10. Nice job of fixing things up on this drive for the Bulldogs.
Earl, and another quick toss to DJ Phillips.
The Cougars are giving a lot of cushion right now, and the Bulldogs are just running 4 or 5 yard hitches, taking what the defense gives them. And
they needed 4, got 6. So all of a sudden now the Bulldogs on the move, opening drive of the second half. Pass underthrown, incomplete.
That slant was a little behind him.
Number 16, Joey DeBaldo.
Baldo, the intended wide receiver.
That's going to bring 2nd down for the Bulldogs.
Burrow's really getting that ball out fast, though. Boy, is he getting that ball fast. Out of his hands quick. Zip, zip, zip. Romeo all the way down to the Cougar 28-yard line, the steepest they have been all night.
Earl, and tried the left-hand side. Can be one of the first Cougars in.
Number 8, Victor Earl on the carry.
Biddle in on the stop as well.
Jake Polakowski.
Polakowski, Cougar in pursuit.
For the Bulldogs.
Again, you can see why the Bulldogs came in tonight 3-0 in MAC Red play. They just keep coming at you, keep coming at you. There's no quitting this team.
Dakota bringing the pressure. Pass deflected. What a play. Jachowski from the linebacking position. Brought back in coverage. Came up with a terrific pass deflection.
He was step for step with the receiver right there. Just an outstanding defensive play, Brad. You made mention how good their kicker is. Here he comes. Trying to make this a one-score game. And this is not going to be no easy kick, Brad. This is going to be from about 42 yards.
Joseph Seeley. 3 for 3 on the season, 7 of 8 on point after touchdowns, as long as 41 this season. This will be a 42-yarder. This will pull them within a touchdown. Snap is good, hold is good. Seeley bumped into, the kick is good.
42-yard bomb. Woo.
So that's the longest field goal of the season for Joseph Seeley. He's just a sophomore.
That makes the score 17-10
Man.
in favor of the Cougars.
And he put that right down the middle, too. There was no doubt. He hit it. That went right down the middle. One-score game. Bulldogs cash in their opening drive in the second half. Now the Cougars got to respond, Brad. And Romeo starting to seem to kind of start picking up a little bit of momentum.
Romeo, out of the halftime break, had to score points on that drive. They had to score points, and they mission accomplished. They settled for 3. Give Dakota credit. They made the stops when necessary, but those are 3 very big points right there for the Romeo Bulldogs because it pulls them within 1 possession once a game, trailing 17.
Not even. What does it do to their confidence right now? They, up to that point, have pretty much struggled all game long. Not even to be able to get into Dakota territory. They got the thing all the way down inside the 30.
It's an onside kick, Dakota wasn't quite ready for it.
We weren't ready for it.
But they do recover at the 45-yard line. So the Bulldogs roll the dice, so to speak. Dakota was backpedaling there.
Hard to see the first overload. He went in head first and grabbed it. He stalled himself out to get that ball. Wow.
Why not?
What was the line from the water boy? Last game of the season, Brent. Can't hold anything back. I mean, it's kind of that way. There's 2 games to go in the MAC Red season. This is the second to last game. You can't leave anything on the table. You got to go for it. I like the aggressive play calling. Really just fouled up that middle. A little bit of dancing there by Skylar Simmons. Bulldogs able to kind of set those gaps and get nothing. So they're pulling both guys there, and there was nothing going. A lot of white jerseys in there. Well, start the 4th quarter at Anchor Bay. It's Anchor Bay and Ike 7-7. And apparently the quarterback for Anchor Bay broke his broke his throwing arm in the first quarter. That's a big loss for the Tars. I watched the game when Chippewa Valley visited Anchor Bay, and he had a heck of a second half. He slung the ball all over the place and almost pulled it off.
Simmons once again just runs right into the teeth of that Bulldog defense.
Number 33,
Bulldogs do a much better job just not letting any of the Cougar running backs kick holes right now. They've been looking for a hole, but a lot of white jerseys coming up from the positions and kind of setting that line of scrimmage, not letting Dakota get anywhere. And now they make quite a few changes as
Xavier Ruha coming up to make that tackle.
More spread set.
They're down 9 to go. Big drive here for Dakota. Trying to answer the field goal by Romeo.
Look at the stack down here with Pritchard and Morin.
That's the way they're looking. Instead, going to throw the drag route. Incomplete. So it's going to be 3 and out.
Nice coverage by Ryan Relay. I hope I said that right. We were going over those enunciations before the game. That was one of the ones we had a hard time with.
Relier. Ryan Tiffin offer.
Well, I'm getting some great updates from my source here. So punt through the back of the end zone on the Eagles, and Anchor Bay takes a nice 7
So they got a safety.
Well, Eisenhower's struggling right now with the Tars, and they're giving them everything they can handle.
Romeo looking to bring all kinds of pressure. High snap. Oh boy, what a disaster.
He got it off. What a punt.
Aronowski able to get the punt off, and now coming up to field it. Boy, oh boy.
Wow.
Brody Meyer.
Brody Meyer, if he feels that cleanly lost his footing, he had several Cougars behind him. He had nothing but open real estate in front of him. It's a great job to get this off. As that ball sailed over his head, but watch it, he feels it. He runs to his right. There's nobody there.
And that's exactly why he's pounding that field turf, because he knows it.
He knew it.
He keeps his feet. He's off to the races, and more than likely, he's taking it 62 yards to that painted end zone. So back to work now for the Bulldogs, trailing by 7. 5:09 left to go, third quarter play. Burrows. Oh, nice pass deflection, Damari Malone. How good is Damari Malone?
He's outstanding, but you got to talk right now about the second half of these Bulldogs. Came out and come down the field, get a field goal. You get Dakota 3 and out. Get Dakota 3 and out right now, and now offense back on it here is trying to make something happen. Checking the YouTube stream, right? We're up to 134. I didn't know that many people liked us. Fantastic.
Good to feel the love, isn't it?
Yeah. Kissing all those babies does some good.
Jeff Vitale fan club just continues to grow every day. Jake Watson into Cougar territory once again. So message received at halftime if you're a Bulldog.
Well, Damari Malone was on that coverage and he came up limping. He is really struggling. I don't know, it looks like an ankle. He is down, or it could even be a cramp. They said they might be stretching him out. Might be a cramp. It was, we've had some chilly weather, and it was a little warmer than we were used to. And of course, by next week, it's going to feel, even though it's in the 80s, it's going to feel like it's in the 90s just because of the cold weather we had.
Good hard run downhill.
Number 21, Brady Zorecha on the carry.
Xavier Ruha. That was one I practiced pregame. And now looking for the home run shot. Single coverage. DJ Phillips couldn't come down with the pass. I like taking that shot deep there.
Yeah, he sat on the ground, looked at the referee about interference, but there was a lot of mutual hand fight going on there. He wasn't going to bail him out on that, but I like this is definitely a much more aggressive Romeo offense that has come out in the second half, Brad, from what we saw in the first half.
Yeah, it's second down and short. You take your shot deep. You got a third and manageable now.
And more than likely at this part of the field, you're in a two-down territory anyway, so.
Line to gain is the 33-yard line.
Coach Rhinus firing it deep there.
The big tailback, Victor Earl in. They fake to him. Quick strike to Jake Watson. He has been Mr. Reliable for Caden Burrows tonight.
That's a very pretty executed RPO right there. Watch how fast he gets this out of his hand. Hits the big ball right down the middle. Boom, boom. That's fantastic.
Burrows looks to his right. Slings it out there for Victor Earl. Tripped up. Kachowski making the tackle.
Yeah, not for another 6-yard gain, though. I tell you, the Bulldog offense is really starting to find their rhythm a little bit. They got the Cougars on their heels a little bit. Touchdown here ties this game, Brad.
Yeah, Romeo has suddenly woke up. Burrows hands to Earl. Left tackle down to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, Antoine Riddle there on the tackle there. That was a big tackle. He gets past that.
Now all of a sudden the Cougars really got to put their ears back.
Yeah, I mean, they're at the 15-yard line. This is the deepest they've been all day, and I wanted to see Coach Bauer start dialing up some blitzes or something. Here comes some pressure. Look
Burrows.
out. Got dropped there.
Ben Turner.
Number 9, Kate Burrows, pass.
Kolakowski was on the pressure.
Second down for Bulldogs.
Bulldog offensive line doing a nice job of keeping Burrow's pocket relatively clean. He hasn't been hit a lot in this football game, nor has he been rushed, but credit the offensive play calling as well. It's been a lot of quick passes tonight.
Yeah, Tyler Torrey was also on there. But yeah, I mean, I think the Bulldogs have done a nice job of making sure he gets that ball in his hands quickly, the play calling. And, the Cougars really haven't been able to get to him. And even when he's rolled out, he's made some nice quick decisions on his feet, to avoid sacks and plays that can, hurt his offense. So Flood the far side of the field. Oh, going across. Oh, he's going to take it.
Calls his own number and runs into a whole host of Cougars.
The rugby scrum.
This is a Cougar defense, Jeff, that has 20 sacks on the season through 5 games. So averaging 4 sacks per game and really haven't gotten home in this football game. Romeo has played a clean football game in terms of turnovers. Haven't turned the ball over at all. Hasn't always been pretty, but it's been effective here tonight. They trailed just by 7 points.
Yeah, you know, and just try not to do anything to kind of hurt themselves as the defense, you know, who's been out there for quite a long time, has played pretty well. Had a defensive touchdown. And the offense can get in here, can really help them out. Dakota doing a really nice job of taking everything over the middle there. The defense is so talented. Where do you attack?
Penalty flags come out. Pass is completed. Going to be short of the first down markers. Reception made by DJ Phillips.
Pass complete.
See about the flag.
DJ Phillips.
Came out almost immediately.
4th down for the Bulldogs.
Well, 3rd interception of the night on Dustin Crum. Gives Anchor Bay the ball back with a 9-7 lead and 8 minutes to go.
On blue. 4th down.
Sideline warning on blue. Okay, that's Dakota. No inadvertent whistle there.
So it'll be a 4th down and 4.
You know, we're going to be using that one the rest of the season, right? We're going to beat that like a drum.
Bulldogs have it 4th down with 4 yards to go.
Surprise here is the field goal.
Seelag going to come in and kick.
You're going to need a touchdown to take the lead anyway. And they've had some success on this drive, but get the point, you know. So far, this has been the field goal there. Oh, geez. He destroyed that ball with a field goal.
26-yard field goal is good.
It's been a 6-0 half right now for Romeo.
Making the score 17-13.
Because, you know, we talked about the number of possessions the Cougars got in the first half. 1 with 3 and out. And the Bulldogs would just control the entire pace of the second half so far. 6 points on the board. Still a 1-score game without a touchdown. You know, a couple more field goals and put them in the lead there. But you know, this offense needs to start cashing in on 7. So you don't want these Cougars to kind of get rolling again, Brad.
I kind of feel like that's just an instance there where Romeo's just trying to take the win offensively, put up points on every single drive, and eventually the numbers come out in your favor.
Chip away.
Right. You don't want, I guess you don't want the deflation of walking back to your sideline without scoring points there.
Yeah.
Is ultimately the thought process.
Especially if you put your best drive of the night together.
Right.
Now you see what the Cougars come out with. A little conservative on that first drive. So they come out and kind of mix it up a little bit. We get Pritchard on the edge.
Bulldogs number 3, Joseph.
So Romeo stalls out after gaining 53 yards of offense. 26-yard field goal brings them a little bit closer, 17-13 our score. Felicia bottled up and brought down short of the 20-yard line.
And the one thing the Cougars haven't been able to do, Brad, is really get the ball downfield to the air tonight. The Bulldogs have taken that away. You know, they've hit a little underneath routes or kind of those medium passing routes, but nothing deep down the middle or down the sideline. They've been unable to do it as the Bulldogs be able to control that. They came out, like you said, the second half and kind of got a little methodical run the football, and the Bulldogs shut them down here. So we'll see what the Cougars come up with here on their second drive. Jaden Ford back in the shotgun.
Simmons is tailback in the right-hand pocket. Looking to take that shot deep downfield. Pritchard wide open. He's got it. Gonna coast into the end zone for the Cougar touchdown. 83 yards right on cue, Mr. Vitale.
Hey, is there an echo in here? I'm looking around. Huh.
You asked for it. They go for the home run ball and they knock it out of the park. One play 83 yards. You talk about an answering field goals with touchdowns. Perfectly thrown ball there by Jaden Ford into the waiting hands of Caleb Pritchard. Back-to-back games now with TD catches for the young man. Aronowski, extra point is good. Minute 38 left to go in the third.
Well,
The Cougars 24, the Bulldogs 13.
And just as, we just said, the Bulldogs chipping away, get a 6-0 start in the second half, and then you just get hit with a 80-yard touchdown pass. Now the lead goes back up to 11 and 2 score. Just like that.
Pritchard's third touchdown reception of the season is a big one. Boy, oh boy, that has to feel good if you're Jaden Ford. Kind of settling in now. His fourth touchdown toss of the season in very limited action this year. Really had a good, solid first half against Dearborn Fordson, and you thought, boy, oh boy, this Dakota team's going to be lethal. Then he goes down with the collarbone injury, works himself back. Maybe, perhaps, shouldn't have started that Chippewa Valley game, but really put in a terrific effort to keep that Cougar team alive last week, and perfectly thrown ball there as we get a look at the full moon. Beautiful fall harvest moon here.
With some of the happenings tonight, some of the calls, and no wonder. Right?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out the inadvertent whistle. It's funny
maybe that full moon's
we
to
got
blame.
back in the booth. I asked some of the Romeo coaches. They couldn't even give me an answer either, and they were the ones that had direct contact with the officials. No one could figure it out. Nobody down there heard a whistle. Nobody down there heard a. I've never seen the referees change their mind like that after 4 minutes. So, maybe the moon has something to do with it. I don't know.
So it will be a touchback.
Bulldogs will start off first.
Chippewa Valley now taking a 31-21 lead on Stevenson. That's got to be late in the fourth quarter. Anchor Bay still holding a 9-7 lead on Eisenhower. The MAC standings look pretty crazy after tonight, Brad.
And we mentioned Romeo's upcoming game on the road against Chippewa Valley. That could potentially be a MAC Red championship game. Dakota looking to hold serve not only in this football game, but they will go on the road next week to take on Eisenhower. We could have just an absolute logjam for first place in the MAC Red, and that's kind of what we thought heading into the season. It's all going to come down to that final game of the year. Talk about a wide open wide receiver. That's DJ Phillips. Tight ropes the sideline. Works his way deep into Cougar territory. What a play there on first down.
Yeah, there was miscommunication in the secondary well, but he got behind everybody and was wide open. He kind of turned back around trying to make something happen, followed a blocker, but here come the Bulldogs. All of a sudden, this methodical jab, and all of a sudden we're trading haymakers in the middle of the ring here. It's like Rocky Balboa and Apollo Creek out just teeing off on each other.
36 yards on first down. Don't forget, it was a 17-7 halftime score. The two teams have come out and really answered the bell, so to speak. It gets more razzle-dazzle.
Counter, look at this.
The ball, though, stays on his feet. Nobody can bring him down. Finally, a late flag comes out as well.
Yeah, down by 2 when the tackle was made. So this will be
There is a flag on the field.
27-yard line, so a 17-yard gain on first down, but we wait the officials' call.
down 9-7. Eisenhower gets in the end zone and goes to 2 and gets it. 15-9 Eisenhower.
So all of a sudden, scoring is becoming fast and furious. They're going to say contact to the head, personal foul. So the 17-yard gain, and then
Penalty against the Cougars.
15 yards, right?
Oh, the penalty's at the 27-yard line. So it's got to be half the distance. That's going to take it to about the 13.5.
Personal foul, blow to the head, defense, first down.
Inadvertent blow to the head.
So it is a half a distance to the goal penalty. We'll put the football at the 13.5-yard line.
Man, we've just gone from this slow, methodical games are just all of a sudden just slugfest.
Victor Earl nowhere to go. Just happy to pick up a couple. Brings up a second down, 8 to go. 40 seconds remaining in the third quarter play, so glad you decided to tune us in here tonight on Chippewa Valley Cable Television. Brad Fetters alongside Jeff Vitale.
It's been quite the action-packed third quarter.
Two teams that are evenly matched in terms of state rankings. Some movement up front. Dakota has won the last 3 head-to-head matchups. 21-14 on the road a season ago, that 17-0 district championship game.
That's just a killer, Brad. I mean, you're down there, you know, 2nd and 12 really hurts you down here at this end of the field. But boy, you're moving the ball, and some of those penalties sometimes can kill you.
Dakota also won the 2021 district championship game over Romeo, 35-20, the final score in that game. You and I talked about it off air on our car ride over to the stadium. It's just such a shame that the MAC Red schools constantly have to play one another in district play. The movement once again up front. Bulldogs shooting themselves in the foot.
I think he called a timeout. Nope.
Good ball.
Another false start.
All wide.
At 2nd and 7, 2 false starts take Romeo all the way back, Brad, to the 21-yard line. This is dangerous too, because this is where that secondary loves to jump route if you try to go for it, pick something off here, and just really take the life out of this thing.
So that'll do it for the third quarter of play with the Dakota Cougars in front of the Romeo Bulldogs, 24-13. We'll keep it right here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television. Remind our viewers that they can keep up with everything MHSAA on social media. Look us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for tournament updates, event announcements, video highlights, and high school sports news from around the state. It's the best way to connect with the MHSAA every day.
Well, Brad, we got 12 minutes to go here in an 11-point game. Especially you think Romeo's got to get something here. Whether you get your 3 or get your 8, you got to get something here. You're running out of time.
We mentioned Romeo has suffered 2 losses by a combined 10 points. So even their losses have been close this year.
The winning ticket is a blue ticket.
And, you know, when they lost that game to Roseville, everyone kind of opened their eyes like, wow, Roseville could be for real. And then they get into MAC White play and just take a loss to Lakeview by 4 and a 9-point loss to Grosse Pointe South. The next thing you know, they're 1-2 in the MAC White.
Yeah. Right now, Grosse Pointe South and Lakeview.
Yeah, they're going at it tonight.
3-0.
They're at Lakeview tonight.
No, Lakeview's playing Lance Cruz tonight. Ford's playing Grosse Pointe South.
Is that next week?
So that'll be next week. That'll be a MAC White championship game. Fort Huron off to a perfect 3-0 start in MAC Blue.
And that game's going to be at Lakeview. But being Ford and Lance Cruz, those guys are near the bottom. So you would think those guys are
they'll handle business tonight. Yep. So they get some of the penalty yardage back. Don't quite get back to the original line of scrimmage. Third down 12. Line to gain is the 4. They're going to pass for it.
I think
the
he caught
pass is completed.
What a catch.
Damari Malone making the touchdown saving tackle. DJ Phillips with the reception.
Well, he's made some big catches tonight, Brad. He had Malone all over him. And first and goal for the Bulldogs.
at the 1-yard line.
You score a touchdown here, you got to go for 2. Kicking an extra point is nothing for you.
Yep, bring it within a 3-point game. Burrows under center. Do we see the old push play? Penalty flags come out. Burrows over the goal line for a touchdown. But one would believe this play will come back. Offside the call.
Oh,
well, it must have been an encroachment. So they blew the play dead. So the defensive line for Dakota must have made contact, which would have been an encroachment rather than an offside.
got to be your push play here.
Burrows under center once again and just straight ahead, pushed into the end zone, breaks the plane. Touchdown Bulldogs.
Touchdown Bulldogs.
Well, now the big 2-point conversion. They bring this within a field goal game. And, you know, boy, Dakota with a big halftime lead. And all of a sudden, here comes Romeo roaring back. And now it's going to be up to the Cougar offense here to answer the challenge. Do they try to throw some kind of surprise onside at him again, or you kick this one deep? And it seems like Romeo's going to leave nothing on the table tonight, Brad.
Why not? They're technically in the driver's seat in the MAC Red. They're the team that's gotten off to the perfect 3-0 start in league play.
And they go to Chippewa Valley next week, so the road doesn't get any easier.
Bulldogs had to take a look at that schedule and say, what in the world did the Macomb Area Conference do to us to give us Dakota and Chippewa Valley on the road back-to-back weeks? Oh, by the way, it's homecoming too. The 2-point conversion, no good. Brody Meyer, the intended receiver. That's a big play right there, Jeff Vitale.
Oh, huge. I mean, now instead of trying to tie this game up with a field goal to get a stop, you got to get in the end zone again. I mean, obviously getting the end zone gives you the lead, but, you know, just night and day, though, in terms of halves for the play of the Romeo offense. You know, very, very rough, stagnant first half, and all of a sudden second half, they just come out gunslinging, just getting the ball all over the place, moving the ball down the field, mixing everything up really nice. Dakota kind of backpedaling a little bit, and the Cougars offense, who kind of enforced their will in that first half. You know, they bring back Jaden Ford, who just delivered a 79, 80-yard touchdown pass, or you know, do you bring out Brady Hamby and pound the rock a little bit, which is kind of what they did to end the first half.
You know, 10:41 still left to go in regulation. That's a lot of time. One would think the Cougars will want to chew up some clock.
You just got Caleb Pritchard behind everybody for a long touchdown. You know, this could turn into a heck of a shootout here.
It's Felicia and Pritchard deep right now for the Cougars. Romeo Band starting to make some noise. Going to check up short of the goal line. Apologize, that was Jalen Whitaker deep for the Cougars. 2, not 12. Ball checked up short of the goal line and skipped out of bounds. So costly penalty there for the Bulldogs. Will give Dakota terrific starting field position. They'll start this next drive from the 35-yard line. Cougars touched the ball twice in this half, a 3-and-out and a 1-play 83-yard scoring strike. It's been all Bulldogs here in the second half. 3 offensive drives have all resulted in points. They have scored 12 second half points thanks to 2 field goals, a 42-yarder and a 26-yarder by Seeley, and now this last 1-yard touchdown run. It'll be Hamby, stiff arms his way for 2.
There's your answer. Dakota looks like they have come out, wanted to kind of pound the ball a little bit and take some time off the clock. But they need to answer here a little bit because this game is not, you know, put away. 5-point lead. Bulldog touchdown gives Romeo the lead. So you need some points on the board here if you're the Cougars.
Austin Tuchowski remaining in the football game at the tailback position. Going with that beefy look right now rather than the traditional air assault game, and it's Hamby once again. And right now, the Bulldogs are getting after it defensively. Those lanes that were available to the Cougars in the first half have shrunk just a little bit.
Yeah, they're really digging in there. Much better defensive performance in the second half. Just the one long, kind of, I don't say Hail Mary touchdown pass, but they let it fly. That's all the Bulldogs have given up. And now you bring in Jaden Ford here, trying to make something happen as Romeo goes a little smaller, maybe for a pass rush situation here.
3rd down, 7 to go. Jaden Ford into the game, more than likely into pass. He'll do just that. Looks over to his right-hand side, got his big target, Trent Morin, into Bulldog territory. Well-thrown ball, good execution, but there is a flag down. Oh, boy. Personal foul, roughing the passer, the call. So they'll add it on to the end of the play.
You kind of saw it there as the ball was being thrown, and kind of goes up the screen. He's got that late shot. And boy, how big is that for Dakota? Now you get this beautiful long pass, and now you're going to tack on 15 more to that from the 43-yard line. That's going to take you all the way down to 28. And apparently our neighbors next door.
We share a desk with the next door neighbors, who just so happen to be the Romeo Bulldog coaching staff, and
always the away coaching staff. And
something got slapped over on that.
Our metal table tends to rattle from time to time.
Pritchard, nothing going there on the sweep play.
Number 12, Caleb Pritchard.
Lost a couple.
He's spotting it. Doesn't even look like maybe
Brought down by a couple Bulldogs.
yard loss. Chowski just couldn't get around it. Look at the pursuit. Pritchard coming out of the game. Helmet came off.
Ryan Relier making the tackle.
This might be a time to tap into the big guy here, Trent Morin. There's really no one on the field that can, guard 6'6" step for step. Maybe try to throw it up high and deep and let him go get it. See if you can kind of stretch his lead back out to 12.
Instead, it's going to be Hamby on the ground.
Or just run up the middle of number 8 for 10 yards. That works too. I was kind of watching Morin to see how he ran his route. Kind of figured it was a run by the way he was running his route. Sure enough, there's Mr. Hamby grinding out 10 yards. We officially don't have his rushing totals, but it's got to be close to 100. With 47 tackles.
Chippewa Valley did a very nice job of bottling him up. They did give up the long 59-yard touchdown run, but that's just straight ahead. There's nothing fancy about that football play.
Nope. We're going here, and you're going to have to stop us.
Got Bulldogs slow to get up.
21. Try saying that one. Good luck.
It is Xavier Ruha. Xavier Ruha.
Okay.
21, Brady Xavier Ruha.
Sure, there's a lot of confidence in that name. You can have that.
Xavier Ruha.
I'm not going there.
That was when I practiced.
I'm just going to say Brady. Good job. He's up and off the sideline of his own power. That's a good sign.
Xavier Ruha.
I'm not even going to attempt that last name with my lack of enunciation skills. Yeah, I'm good. Nice job there, partner.
First down, 10 to go.
That's why you're paid more than I am.
From the 15.
Here he goes.
Hamby again. Max Fountain. Nope, check that Owen Youngblood.
Dude, he is just a runaway freight train. Welcome to the Brady Hamby Show, ladies and gentlemen. Just I don't know how he doesn't get tired. Look at this blocking.
So Romeo's got a college roster because they have 2 number 2s. They have Max Fountain and Owen Youngblood. I'm going to assume that's Youngblood, the senior defensive back, not the junior kicker, Max Fountain.
I'd say that's a pretty good deduction right there, Brad. I think you deduced that very well. Good job. Process of elimination.
Pritchard, they fake the handoff to him. Hamby tries to shimmy shake. He's close to another Cougar first down. I think they're going to give it to him.
You would think eventually on one of these to throw them off, he's going to hand this off. And because Pritchard's coming around that corner at 100 miles an hour, but I mean, right now Brady Hamby's like, hey, get on the bat, going in the end zone.
Or better yet, what if he threw for a touchdown?
I mean, he's got, what's that, 3 touchdown passes on the season? It's happened. A little bit further distance, but I mean, this is kind of something where you see something that you run the ball, 100% of the time out of this formation, he throws it. No one's going to see it coming.
They bring Pritchard over, and they fake the handoff to Pritchard once again. Hamby belted down.
Let him Tim Tebow jump pass.
There you go.
That would get me out of my seat.
Down to the 2. More important, this is killing a ton of clock. Already 5 minutes. Cougars have possessed the football.
All the way down to the 2-yard line. And they're just grinding this clock out, waiting for that back judge to start counting. They're just taking their time. And this is Dakota Cougar football right here, folks, at its best.
And this is the same exact play run once again. Romeo ready for it. I don't think he got it. Nope. It's going to be marked down at the 1.
And it, only being 3rd down, that's okay, because now you can just grind more clock out. It'll take time to set the ball and then blow the whistle. You got 25 seconds from there, so you got lots of time. You're just grinding off this clock. Not making. Not only that, if you score, you don't get much time now because the Bulldogs is 2-score game.
Yep. 3rd and goal to go. 5 minutes left to go.
And even if you kick a field goal, it's an 8-point game, which makes it a touchdown to 2-point conversion away, which the Bulldogs were unsuccessful on their last try. There he is.
There we go. Hamby into the end zone for a Cougar touchdown.
I mean, that is just about as methodical as you can get right there. I mean, just ground and pound at its finest. Touchdown for the Cougars. Now makes it a 2-score game as they go for the extra point here to make it 31-19. They've now put Romeo in a heck of a bind.
It's a big extra point because this puts you up 12 and forces Romeo to have to score 2 touchdowns.
And this is not, the Bulldogs are not made as a quick strike offense. So you put them out of their element a little bit.
Don't forget Aronowski has had an extra point blocked here tonight. Ooh, Bulldogs nearly get home this time. Once again, but the kick is good. 31-19 our score. 4:45 left to go in regulation. Get another look here at this touchdown run by Brady Hamby.
Just downhill, man. Just downhill. See, downhill, just like that.
Look at
Found right over the big fellow there. Austin Bell.
the band.
Justin Bell, sorry. The offensive line really has done a fantastic job tonight. They've really worn out that Bulldog defense. Romeo's played the tails off. Dakota just a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, really worn down the Bulldogs tonight.
Back knee for the Bulldogs, number 10, Brody Meyer, number 12, DJ Phillips. For 16, Joey
Final for
Ronaldo.
Stevenson, Chippewa Valley, 38.
Number 35,
Stevenson, 21.
Austin
So
Aronowski.
Big Reds take care of business. They improve to 3-1 in league play. Dakota looking to do the same here tonight.
And we could have a serious log jam at the top. And Eisenhower came from behind to win 15-9 at Anchor Bay. So Dakota hangs on to win this. We have a 4-way tie with 1 week to go.
Returnable DJ Phillips, far side, trying to get chased down by Jalen Whitaker, who will just usher him out of bounds.
And, because I am Mr. Research, all 4 teams are head-to-head next week with Dakota at Ike, Romeo at Chip. The 4-way tie is going to go somehow down to 2.
So we'll have a co-share for the MAC Red Championship.
Yes. At the very, very least. Unless everybody ties,
which we can't have. So it automatically means we're going to have a co-share. We're going to have a co-share this year in the MAC Red. How about that?
Not that we're biased, but I think we would prefer the CVS schools.
Oh yeah,
Share
we
that
definitely
as
want
opposed to-
a big red Dakota co-share.
Yeah, as opposed to the seeing Romeo and Eisenhower have it. That's definitely not something that we want to see. We would love to see Chippewa Valley and Dakota share that.
Flag comes out. Just goes to show how good the MAC Red is. I know we seemingly say it every single week, and our viewers are probably getting tired of hearing it from us, but it's just the best conference, the best league in the state of Michigan.
Top to bottom, there's no one. I mean, you got some leagues in the state, especially over on the west side, that's got some good teams at the top. But when you work your way to the bottom, it just dies out. Anchor Bay can go anywhere else and beat everybody.
Yeah, they own the MAC White when they're down there.
I mean, it's not even fair. So you know what Stevenson can do.
Yep, Stevenson made a state semifinal not that long ago. This Romeo team won a state title in 2015.
Yeah, remember, this Stevenson team that we currently see is very young.
Yep, they started a sophomore quarterback. Burrows gonna get it out quickly. Ben Turner on this near side, incomplete.
How about in coverage, this Tchaikovsky on the speedy receiver too? How impressive is that? The speed of this Dakota defense does. When you say 19 points, it's hard to score lots of points with this Dakota defense. They just do not give you much of anything. Chippewa Valley did a great job last week of kind of keeping them off balance, but for the most part, this defense is just so tough. Move the ball down the field on a score, especially when you got to get 2 scores in under 5 minutes.
Yeah, the 28 points the Big Red scored last week, the most the Dakota defense has given up all season.
Inez Sanders on that coverage.
Previous high was 20 against Anchor Bay. So as we mentioned, Dakota will go on the road next week to take on Eisenhower. The game will be played at Swinehart Field, 7 p.m. kickoff on October 6th. We will have the Chippewa Valley Romeo game homecoming for the Big Red. So if you're a Bulldog fan tuning in tonight to take this one in, we will have Romeo's game next week.
And Brad, a team in red is going to win that game.
I guarantee it. You guarantee it as well.
I'm putting everything I got on that.
Burrows plenty of time. Pass short, intended for DJ Phillips. Damari Malone in coverage.
And
Fourth down 10.
You're just passing down every situation. So those front four of a Cougar D line, you're just pinning your ears back and just trying to make that quarterback about as physical as you can. That allows that back seven just to kind of roam freely, watch his eyes, ball hawk. This is kind of where you're in a 4th and 10 where you try to force something. It might result in one of those guys in blue stepping in front of the ball there and kicking it.
Dakota sideline asking their hometown faithful to make some noise. And they do just that. 4th down, 10 to go. Do or die for the Romeo Bulldogs. Need 10 yards. More than likely keep their hopes alive. Burrows incomplete. No chance to connect with his wide out. It's a 3 and out. It's a turnover on downs. It's Dakota football.
Jake Kolakowski came off that left edge, unblocked, and just laid a tattoo on Burrows as he was letting it fly, and he had no chance. He had to let that fly early, and Cougars turn over on downs, and we'll go on a limb here and maybe go with the Brady Hamby formation.
How about that last offensive drive for Dakota? Let's go back to that for a second. 65 yards, you kill off almost
5.5 minutes,
6 minutes. 6 minutes of clock, you go 65 yards, you cap it off with the Braden Hamby keeper. Put the final nail in the Bulldog coffin, so to speak, and there's Hamby once again.
And now you continue to get your healthy dose of number 8.
Just a really good answer tonight by the Dakota Cougars. You lose a heartbreaker to your arch rivals last week on the road. You lose the Superintendent's Trophy. But you keep your MAC Red title hopes alive here at home on homecoming. A lot of distractions. Coach Bauer really had his team ready and prepared to go here tonight. And don't forget, they turned the ball over twice in that first half.
1 for points.
Yeah, it wasn't a clean first half of football, but Dakota here in the second half has really come up with the answer.
They're going to a 5-man front just to try to slow down Brady Amby. How many MAC Red players have had nightmares about number 8 this season?
Ball carried by number 8.
Yeah, he truly has been the team MVP.
Sacked by number 57.
You know, was asked to kind of come in and play some quarterback. He played it on a JV. Was asked to play some quarterback when Jaden Ford went down, and did it very well. But also then takes every snap at middle linebacker. Doesn't miss a beat. And is making sideline to sideline tackles, anywhere from like 6 to 12 tackles a game from the middle linebacker spot. I mean, he's done it all for this team. I mean, you can't ask anything more out of him than what he's giving you. And then he's giving you more. And just continues to do it. And you can see this, you know, they're running extra defensive linemen in to slow them down. And it's just, I mean, this team is just so big up front. Eventually just wears you down. You know there's going to be north and south running here. You got to chase Dakota. They're up 12 points. They don't need to take any chances. This is going to be methodical. We're going to beat you up football. We're running right here, and we dare you to stop us.
Romeo uses their first timeout of the half to stop the clock with exactly 3 minutes left to go in regulation. Second down, 9 to go. Cougar football up 31-19. Caleb Pritchard over in motion, and he will keep it once again. Slices and dices his way up to the 17-yard line.
Oh, that's your guy. Say a nice tackle there by 21, Brady. Yeah, you got this. I ain't attempting that last name. He made a nice shoestring tackle.
Xavier Ruja.
Brady Z. How's that? About as far as I'm gonna get. You think Brady Hamby's carrying this?
Oh, I can only imagine.
If he hands it off, I'll be stunned. But Skylar Simmons is there. He's had some nice runs tonight too, so I just don't think he's getting this ball. There's 19 guys in the box.
Romeo shows pressure. Hamby
still gets by it. That's incredible.
The most incredible part about it is everybody in the stadium right now knows who's getting the football.
Can't stop it.
And Romeo can't stop it.
There's 10 guys in the box. They're covering Ford at the top, one guy. And everyone else is in the box. And they just got 5 yards of it. It's mano-a-mano. Can't stop it. And if you're an offensive lineman, you love this right now. You just get in there, you're mixing it up. You know, maybe you've had a rough week. You just get taken out on somebody on a Friday night. That's the great thing about football. Great stress relief.
.90 seconds remaining. Hamby takes the low snap, and he's gonna get bent down. Oh boy.
Oh. Did you hear how quiet the stadium got there?
Joey Sabero dragged him down, and we'll get another timeout called by Romeo. Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the health and safety page of the MHSA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
I don't know if you're Coach Bauer. There's a minute 27 to go. You're at second long. You maybe take Hamby out and try to hand off. Especially after seeing that last play where he kind of got twisted up a little bit. I'm sure a lot of people's hearts sank right down to their ankles on that one. You know, maybe you take number 8 out there and run 33 up the middle a few times and either try to put an extra or go for on 4th down and make the Bulldogs. They still got to score twice. There's probably about less than a minute on the clock to get this thing back. But no, he's out there.
It's Tuchowski in tailback position.
We'll give it to Caleb.
Caleb Pritchard bottled up.
Well, that's an alternative. Let number 12 run it.
Romeo uses their final timeout. One more stoppage in play with 1:14 left to go, and it'll bring up a 3rd and long. Fantastic job once again by our entire Chippewa Valley Cable Television crew. Calderon directing tonight's game. Kim Adlam in the live truck. Brittany Packer, Joe Chapo, Dominic Pacifico working the cameras here tonight.
Well, that's a drone. I thought we were looking at some kind of
UFO?
Yeah, I don't know. Bullfights or something. I don't know. That was a little. I think someone's breaking some flying space laws or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Although, how far are we from the days of high school doing the film now with the drone and just going right over the top of the field and seeing the aerial view? That'd be pretty cool.
Now, PA announcer did ask for that person to bring the drone down. I don't know if they're going to quite get their wish. Mr. Custer as well, our brand new intern here at Chippewa Valley Cable Television, working his first live game tonight.
And of course, Brad, always a pleasure to be able to sit on a Friday night and call a game with you.
Hard to believe we've kind of hit the stretch run here. 3 more games after tonight. Campy again, twists and turns. Going to be just short of the 1st down marker. Romeo cannot stop the clock.
Minute 3 to go. Oh no, where they have it marked. He didn't get the 1st down, so that clock should be running, and it's not running.
Yeah, it is.
Well, now it is. It wasn't. It was stopped at 1:03. Nice to see the bottom portion of the clock and the top portion of the clock working together.
Hey, it's in sync this
It's
week.
in sync. Must be the favorite band over here. It wasn't over at 19 Mile Romeo playing last week.
Big Red's more of the Backstreet Boys
Maybe,
fans.
you know, maybe. Everyone's got their thing, you know.
The favorite boy
Travis
band.
Kelce has turned into a Swiftie, and, you know.
So now it'll be the Cougars that take a timeout and stop the clock with 30 seconds remaining. And now's a good time to let you know the broadcast of today's game is a copyrighted presentation of the Michigan High School Athletic Association and Chippewa Valley Cable Television. No reproduction, retransmission, or other distribution of the descriptions or accounts of this game may take place without the express written consent of the MHSAA and Chippewa Valley Cable Television.
Right. If they use any of our sound bites, we get a kickback on that.
That's right.
That's right.
Pay to play. Ball spotted at the 5-yard line. Line to gain is the 3. So 4th and 2 with 30 seconds to go.
I get that a lot, Brad. People always trying to steal my stuff. It's very irritating.
Steal your jokes, steal your
I'm telling
thunder.
you, man, yeah.
So the Cougars, nice job here tonight.
This is kind of what I expected after last week. I knew they were a little ticked, and they came out and played that way tonight, and they just physically beat up the Bulldogs.
Going to improve to 5-1 on the season. More importantly, they go to 3-1 in MAC Red play. Romeo will fall to 3-1. Romeo will fall to 3-3 on the season. Brady Hamby, what a performance once again, as the Cougars will not have to snap this football. That'll do it. Gutsy effort tonight by Brady Hamby.
He is him.
Jaden Ford, fantastic job as he slowly works his way back from the injury. I thought he was sharp here tonight, and just can't say enough about this Dakota defense. Don't forget, Romeo did score on defense. So the Dakota defense only gave up 12 points tonight.
Yeah, it's a great football game between two class football programs, coaching staff, schools, and you know, we got to sit here and watch them for almost 2 hours and 40 minutes. So, you know, now it gets interesting because now it's shaking out where we have a 4-way tie in first place. And next week, it comes down to 2 teams that are going to be co-champs of this division.
Romeo and Chippewa Valley next week at Chippewa Valley. Dakota will go on the road to take on Eisenhower. Both of those games, MAC Red Championship games, we will have the Bulldogs and the Big Reds coming to you from the Valley next week right here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television. Tune us in live just prior to kickoff at 7 o'clock as we will bring you, we can guarantee it, we can bring you a MAC Red champion as all 4 of those teams, Eisenhower, Romeo, Dakota, and Chippewa Valley, all tied atop the MAC Red standings at 3-1. Nice sign of solidarity between both these teams as they huddle together at the 50-yard line. That's what it's all about right there, folks.
Absolutely.
Friday night under the lights, the 2 teams come together, put their differences aside. Hard-fought battle here tonight goes the way of the Dakota Cougars. Your final score, 31-19 over the Romeo Bulldogs. My broadcast partner, Jeff Vitale, I'm Brad First. For the rest of our hard-working Chippewa Valley Cable Television crew, saying goodnight from Macomb Township. Once again, your final score, Dakota 31, Romeo 19. We'll see you next week right here, same time, same location for Romeo and Chippewa Valley.